Thank you very much, ma'am. It was a pleasure, or it is a pleasure to actually be here with all of you and for putting this together on Women's Day. Somebody actually said, is there a Men's Day? And he said, we never heard about this. So why is it a Women's Day? We should have 365 days of Women's Day where women are, honored for the job that they do across everywhere. It is not a moment when you go to sleep, you don't go to sleep just shutting off. You're actually going to sleep thinking about what you need to do. As soon as you get up, you're actually having already done some breakfast preparations. All this happens, and there is no Sunday for any women at all. It is, some more, actually a Sunday is a day of more work for all of us. So I am an undergraduate from St. John's Medical College, and I do remember Kiran as a very young person. I probably both are of the same age, and we used to roam around Koramangala at the same time. I was telling the driver who brought us here that there was nothing beyond Madiwala. There was a huge forest there, and we used to go cycling on cycling trips. There's nothing beyond that. And so much has happened in the last 40 years, but I think so much has happened for the good, and some of it has not happened for the good. But we have all traveled this, area and in different trajectories, and having come after 40 years met together. And I think we are all meant to make this difference to each other without worrying about who we are, what we are, and where we belong to. This is India, this is you and me, and it is our duty, responsibility to actually transform India. We are the educated elite, and if you and I don't do it, there is nobody else here who will transform India, Bangalore, or this area. So I think it's our duty to do this, and this is a great opportunity for us to do. In the last 2.5 years, you've seen a lot of turmoil, lot of candlelight marches, lot of Jantar Mantar and everything else. But I think if we do not translate it into political will, there is no scope for us. We'll only be lighting candles, and that doesn't make any difference. So we have to. So 5 years ago, when I started engaging and participated in getting people to come out to vote, at that point, 2008, my interest was to get more people to come out to vote. My interest was to get people to participate in the electoral process. That is all that I was interested in at that point. Between the last 5 years, my trajectory has changed, and I said, I can be a better MLA. I can deliver better, and I'm sure I will do this without personal gain. And that is what brings me here, where I am stating that I can do far better than what these people have done in the 5 years. So somewhere we have to claim our space, otherwise we will not be making a difference at all. There is nothing that you can do without power, and all of us have seen that we are nowhere. So there is a power within us to make the transformation, to use the knowledge. As a doctor, I have enormous knowledge to do prevention. I'm not interested in cure anymore. When my daughter suffered dengue in 2007, I was devastated with the fact that I personally had to spend ₹1 lakh. And to me, to get a pint of blood, of platelets, it took me an enormous effort. Now, if being a doctor, being capable, having the money, I had a struggle. I really wanted to think about what happens to the person who doesn't have all the advantages that I have. And that's when I started seeing, how can I prevent it from happening? And the prevention went to looking at garbage, how we can have less mosquitoes if there is less garbage around. That's where, if you know all the turmoil about garbage which has happened in the last 1 year, started about 5 years ago when all of us started engaging in saying, take care of your garbage, don't throw it, don't dump it. So that's where we all so our experience, our expertise must make a difference to the common man, and we don't see, by sitting and just commenting in the drawing room, we cannot make any difference. So we have to get onto the ground. So what can I as an individual do by myself is what we are looking at. Yes, we can. One man made the difference long ago. Today, it's independence from corruption that we want. And all of us are affected. The pothole affects everybody, and the mosquito doesn't differentiate between you, me, or anybody else. In the Ijipura slums, it doesn't differentiate anybody. We need to actually be common on one footing and be the change that we want to see. Okay, so there is an influence that you can do on others and improving the life of everybody around us must be the thing. All problems concern everybody. Today I actually reached half an hour in advance from Malleshwaram, but that was because I think I beat the traffic for just those 15 minutes. So bad roads, traffic jams, pollution, garbage, everything is common to all of us, and today the environment is deteriorating. It will affect everybody. If you and I can use RO water, it doesn't make any difference. If there's now no water coming into the RO machine, it makes no difference. And why must we do RO water? Water is supposed to be safe to drink out of the sink. So somewhere we are going to face all the problems that are there without effect. So who do we blame? Of course we blame the government. Of course we blame the administration and everybody around town. But finally it is us we have to blame, because we are not engaging and not being strict on the deliverables. So I believe that we must all be like strict teachers, demanding extra efficiency from our students, and the politicians and the administration are but our students. We believe that once in 5 years we vote for them, or we don't even vote for them, because we say, one, I don't know who the person is standing, I don't think he will make any difference, I'm not going to see him in the next 5 years, but he is actually going to transform or do the reverse of transform to your life. So somewhere we have to say, we have to come in and do it. Should we be something other than passive citizens grumbling in our drawing room? Stop grumbling. Let's get on to the ground. 2 months now we have before we can transform. If we do not work in the next 2 months, if we don't become the feet on the ground, the hands that knock on the doors, the mouth that says, come out, vote. Come out, vote for a person who will do it without personal gain. That is most important. What has happened is the money that is coming into the electoral system is actually destroying us right from the beginning. You and I are the 50% of the population that doesn't vote. You and I are the 50% of the population that thinks that on the day of elections, it's much nicer to go for a picnic than otherwise. Somewhere we have to change this. Come out in the morning, 7 o'clock in the morning, cast your vote and go away. But if you need to cast your vote, you need to make sure that your name is on the electoral rolls. Why is it that you and I need to engage? Because we are educated, because we can make an informed choice, because we are earning well, because we do not have to worry about the next meal. The Aam Aadmi who has to worry about his next meal cannot think beyond his meal. If he doesn't do his day's labor, he will not get his next meal. He will not have something to feed his family. But you and I are comfortable enough to say, if we will take off, and that too, our weekends are free. Saturday and Sunday, we are free. If you and I walk the streets of every locality and tell every person that, come on, from a 44% vote, can we make it a 70, a 75, an 80% vote, then we will be able to transform the way the electoral system works, the way the election works. Today, with a 44% turnout, 20% of the population votes for the elected representative. That means the elected representative is representing the thoughts of 20% of the population. The 80% are disengaged. So we have to engage in this. Otherwise, we cannot be letting our society just go. So, do we need to do social service? Yes. Everywhere abroad, everywhere in America, everywhere in England, in Europe, the social service portion is very important. Here, somewhere in India, we have completely forgotten that social service helps us. And as I go knocking on doors, there are so many friends that I make. In the last 8 years or 9 years since I've engaged, I started with a simple thing. In 2004 elections, my very educated IIT, IIM friend did not go to vote. That's when I started saying, must be something wrong. So then I worked with Janagraha and did a voter list corrections and found 50% of the names wrong. I don't know how many of you know, is your name on the voter list? If not, get online, put in your papers, make sure that your vote counts. But your vote will only count if your name is on the voters list. 13 lakh people have been deleted from the voters list because they don't want the thinking, the educated, the people who will perco the candidate and say, I will choose between this and this because this candidate is better than this candidate. All we do is either put a chap for BJP or Congress or JDS. We don't look at who is the individual who is standing in your locality to make the difference. So somewhere we have to be. It's your right. It's your money that is being spent. Your income tax money, your road tax money, your house tax money that is being spent indiscriminately. If it was your budget and your income, will you allow that money to be wasted? No, none of us will do that. We will make sure that that money gets the maximum value. Return on investment is what we will look at. But when it comes to the government, 13,000 crores this way, so many 1.5 lakh crores that way, everything we say government का पैसा है. Government का पैसा कहाँ से आया? हमारे जेब से ही आया. So we need to understand that we need to be involved in the way the spending is done. To me, we have to be engaged the whole year round. The moment the budget is announced, we need to come in and say, what are the requirements of our locality? Where will we take it forward? Which is the priority? How will we, involve everybody in it? And having done that, move it forward to the next level where the one that is required the most will get done first, not the road in front of my house because my friend is the corporator and therefore my road gets done thrice in 5 years. So we need to be there. Your involvement can make the difference. All of us take our driving licenses, but we don't put our name on the voters list. So if you do not vote, then we suffer in silence for the next 5 years. So please enroll your name in the voters list and inspire everybody. So today, if I am here, I'm telling you 150 people, please go back home, list 150 of your friends. Probably you have 3,000 people on your emailing list. Write to all of them and say, check your name on the voters list. It's available on ceokarnataka.car.nic.in. I will send a mail so that you can all check it out. Check your names, check your friends' names. Make sure that everybody's name is on the list. It doesn't require more than just a few minutes on the laptop and making it happen. So if you do not vote, you don't have any voice. And if the people who vote and vote because they have paid someone, got some money for it, when they go back to their elected representative, the elected representative turns around and says, I gave you money, no? At that point, there's nothing else that I will do for you for the next 5 years. So either way we are losing and they are making hay. So please put your name on the voters list and it is now your chance to make a difference. So like I already described, all these things are the reasons that we do not go to vote. This time, there are people who are professionals who are coming into politics. We are not making politics our profession. There are 4 of us from Lok Satta Party. There's Dr. Ashwin Mahesh, he stood for the graduate constituency. Unfortunately, out of the 23 lakh graduates, there were only 1.5 lakh graduates who had registered. And of this 1.5 lakh graduates who had registered, only about 35,000 graduates voted, which is why we didn't win that election. The graduate constituency in Bangalore is the most effective constituency, but none of us bothered to vote. So there, we lost a golden chance to make a difference. We are back again, not losing out.